Hey everybody, Arnaldo Hoffman here with CompuShow Video Manuals. I had one of my viewers request a quick discussion on choosing different colors for effects. Now what he did is he created some effects and he wanted to know how to quickly switch to different colors. Well, the easiest way is with palettes, and if you're doing it because you want to changing it, you have different colors for maybe uplighting, and you want to quickly switch the colors in let's say for example, chase like this, right? You would use palettes for that if you wanted to match the theme of the event. And I have a video on my tutorials, so check out my playlist that talks about how to work on your palettes. If you're just doing, like, for example, a color wheel or basic overall color, you can quickly override that with a switch. But if it's an effect, such as the one you see here, the Knight Rider-esque effect, well, the easiest way is just to have multiple different colors. The problem is that after a while, you're going to quickly fill up your page with all sorts of different icons, and it gets confusing. And that's where compressions come in. Now, as the name suggests, compression is going to take all these different icons here and turn them into one button. Let me show you how that works. We're going to go into our Page tab and then click on Settings, and now we're going to click on Compressions. Pretty easy so far. I'm going to click New, and I named all the compressions. They start with the name KR for Knight Rider. So I'm going to click on that. Over here, I'm going to tell it that I want them to be all buttons, whether they're scene or switches, and I don't require one switch to always be on. Obviously, different scenarios call for different things, so these options may come in handy. Over here are different types, and I'm going to show you a couple most popular types. So first, we're going to start with icon down here, and I use this one quite a bit, and we're going to select a master icon. Let's see what we've got here. You know what? We'll do this one. Why not? And there it is right there. So obviously, it saves us quite a bit of space. But perhaps you want to be able to control the speed, phasing, and everything, and, a little bit even faster than going back and forth on this tab. So now we're going to go into our settings. I'm going to show you a couple different types of compressions. So we're going to go back down here, and we're going to do external window icon. Now watch what happens. Compresses into one button, which is great if you have, let's say, 40 different scenes. I mean, that's still going to be a really large compression. So this way you only have one small button, and now you can select it, and then you can change your speed, phasing, etc. So you can even pin it, so when you click out of it, it stays there, which is good if you know you're going to be accessing that for a bit. And when you're done, you can unpin it. Okay? Then you have your next one, which is external window list. When I click it, it gives them to me in a list. Now this is really good if you have very detailed names and you just want to quickly access that. That's what this is for. And of course, you can pin it if you want to and leave it on there. You can even resize this if you'd like to as well. So again, that gives you quite a bit of extra options in there. Now, how do you recall that from your MIDI-Con or your MIDI controller? CompuShow has a few different options. Let's go ahead and right-click and explore a couple of them. Now, as far as being able to control all your, select, different scene or switch from a compression, there isn't an automatic way of doing this yet. Notice I said yet, but there are a few different options, and I'm sure eventually they'll add a more automatic one. But first, let's go to the compression window. First of all, you have where you can actually control the speed, dimmer, phasing, or the stage size of just one compression, which is really nice if you have programs for, let's say, one particular part of the night and then one for another set of the night, you can change them. So, for example, I could have one for slow dances, one for fast dances, speed up all the fast ones and not have it affect the slow ones. So that's a little bit really handy to have. And then if you watch my video on the virtual windows, which are discovered here, seen here. Let's see here. Virtual selectors. Not virtual windows, virtual selectors. I talk about that quite a bit in another video, so you got to check that out. But anyway, so we have that here. Now, on the compression part, we also have where you can switch between different button compressions. So you can use a fader to scroll across random or, whatever order of compressions you have in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to right-click on the fader. And I'm going to click here. And of course, you can right-click there if you want to, but for me, it's easier to not do it in a compression. And we are going to go to activate a button. Now, each fader has 127 steps. And if you divide that by 4, that's 31.75. So we're just going to do it by 30, steps of 30. So we've got here, we're going to take this, 1 through 30, and we're just going to leave this as it is. We're going to choose the dots page. We're going to go to our Knight Rider. choose red, black, and you're done there. I'm just going to go ahead and paste it. So all the values are the same, and now we're going to go into our next one, yellow. Now I'm going to take this over to 30, and there it is, 30 through 60. Great. Copy and paste. You don't have to copy anymore, but whatever. Green. Now we're going to go on 60. And that's where I realized, actually, that I have both overlapping on 30. So just to prevent any mistakes, I'm going to bring that down right underneath 30, just so there's no clashes. Now, on scenes, it won't matter, but on switches, you don't want to accidentally trigger two switches at the same time. Now, keep in mind that if you are doing this with switches, you want to make sure to select the appropriate on and off, so it shuts off one switch when you turn on the other, if that is what you choose to do. And then we have white. So on the previous one, we had 61 through 91. So now we're going to do, or excuse me, 60 through 91, whatever it was. And I'm just going to do 92 through 122. And you're good to go. Now watch this switch here. There's my difference stack right there of all my compressions. Using virtual selectors, you can have multiple compressions. So what I could do is I could have button A turn this fader to select the compression. So I could have it switch back and forth between multiple compressions. Fader B would select the, the actual scene within, or switch, whichever, within that compression. And when I push button C, it loads that selected switch. So again, with your selectors, A, you can select your compressions using the fader. B, using that same fader, now you're scrolling inside that compression. And then C would select that button, and then you can use that fader to change the speed of that selected button. And again, that is using virtual selectors. If you do not know how to use virtual selectors, make sure to find that on my tutorials. And if you don't know what my tutorials are, I've actually made a very easy page. Just go to masterskooldances.com/tutorials, and you're going to see all the tutorials on the stuff I've done so far. Just click there, scroll, have fun. Any questions or anything, please make sure to leave them on the comments below. Thank you guys so much, and God bless.